All right, we start here. Thousands of South Africans are expected to take to the streets this morning to highlight gender-based violence. The demonstration marks the first day of Women's Month. Hashtag the total shutdown as planned demonstrations across the country, with the main one set to take place in Pretoria. Marchers will head to the union buildings, demanding stringent action against women and child abusers. Demonstrators are encouraged to wear black with a touch of red. Women in Lesotho, Botswana, Swaziland and Namibia will also march in solidarity. The campaign was started in response to the high number of femicide cases in the country. Statistics show that a woman is murdered every 4 hours in South Africa, half of whom die at the hands of their intimate partners. Right, for more on this, we're joined in the studio by the Young Women's Desk convener of the ANC Women's League, Precious Banda. Precious, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for joining us on Afro Breakfast.
Thank you, and thank you to the viewers.
Well, as a start, before we get into the issue of the marches, I'd like to talk about the ANC Women's League Young Women's Desk and the work you've been involved in thus far since its inception not so long ago.
Thank you very much. The Young Women's Desk was officially launched in 2016 as a way of organizing and recruiting young women into the rank and file of the ANC Women's League. This was supposed to be a desk. It's a subcommittee of the ANC Women's League that is going to champion issues of young women within the ANC Women's League itself, in the ANC and in society.
Now, you say it's a subcommittee of the ANC Women's League, but as that women's desk, have you actually been able, in this short space of time, been able to bring the ANC Women's League closer to really what young women are grappling with? There was a sort of I suppose, rhetoric that the ANC Women's League on some issues had lost touch. Are you bringing them back to touch?
Firstly, the ANC Women's League has not lost touch. In all campaigns, in all times, in every epoch, the ANC Women's League has been able to articulate its positions in the best way that it can. But sometimes we accept criticism that sometimes we've not been able to do well. And that is why young people are, because our mothers and ourselves are going to look at issues differently. We are going to approach issues that confront women differently, because I come from a different location as a young woman. And that is the reason why the ANC Women's League appreciated the need to establish a desk of young people that are going to inject fresh ideas into the organization and into how it approaches different issues that confront women. So we think we've been able to do that. We've been able to rise to the occasion in institutions of higher learning during registration, to say, campaign against rape and rape culture, to say young women must not pay in kind and when they apply and seek admission in institutions of higher learning. We've been able to interact with young women from different fields, graduates, young women from the villages, deep rural areas, to show them the existing opportunities that are there, and only to say, as and when we advance women's struggles, it shouldn't be a struggle for the elite, for those that are in cities, for those that have got access to institutions of higher learning, for those that have got access to information, TV and internet, but it should be able to be struggles that take everyone with, our women in the villages, our mothers that feel despondent and think there's nothing more left for them. So we are here for all women across those from privileged positions and those that are still to come up.
Now, you would have heard me in that earlier report before I introduced you, mentioning the fact that it seems that femicide cases are on the rise. So, a two-pronged question. Is it an issue of the cases of femicide being on the rise, or is it really just that now there is more spotlight on what is happening to young women in the country? What have you found?
It's actually both. It's because there is a rise, the statistics on violence against women are rising. They're doubling, they're increasing, and they're very saddening. But at the same time, there's also heightened action and heightened sensitization and mobilization of society against such. So it's not neither nor, but it's both of them. Sensitization, but also mobilization of young women with increased statistics. And that's why we're standing up right now. Young women in the ANC are standing up, in the ANC Women's League, are standing up to mobilize fellow young women from all walks of life. Our march today is going to be attended by members of different organizations, those who we don't share political views with, those who we don't share ideological positions with, but because we know that gender-based violence has since cut across all sectors, so we are able to pull everyone together to speak in one voice and to call an end to gender-based violence, to call for those who make laws, who take decisions, to make decisions that stop this scourge against women.
You talk about speaking in one voice, but ironically, there seems to be some sort of tension between the ANC Women's League Young Women's Desk and this hashtag total shutdown, those who've planned this total shutdown. I know your march today is starting here in Joburg at Constitutional Hill, and there's this starting in Pretoria, and they will be marching to the union buildings. When you say speaking in one voice, I would assume that all the women would sort of speak in one voice and march together, going together for this march. What is the cause of this tension, and why not just all join together and make one huge big march?
Firstly, let me demystify, the perception that there's tension. On our side, we are not fighting with any other grouping of women. We are a congress of women. A congress of women involves all other women. So we appreciate the diversity of women, but we know how to rise on issues that unite women or on issues that cut across women.
Yeah.
Now, the group called Total Shutdown organized their own march. Firstly, every year the ANC Women's League has been marching in August. The focus area for this year has been gender-based violence. And when they announced that they are going to have a total shutdown on the 1st of August, we thought of entering into engagements with them to say, we always organize marches, choosing a theme every year, and our theme is actually gender-based violence for this year. That was adopted earlier this year. We cannot march on the 9th and others march on the 1st while speaking one message. So we decided that let's come together and march together and convey the message. But we had areas of difference on strategies on how to go about in this march. And the difference were on two. The first one was on the fact that the other group said they do not want men to join their march. We felt fundamentally that men must join our march. We're going to lead our march. Our speakers are all going to be women. Our messages are all going to be from women. But we said we want progressive and patriotic men who agree that gender-based violence has to come to a stop and who want to come and take an oath that they're going to contribute in making gender-based violence to stop.
Yeah.
So we wanted men in our march, and they did not. The second one comes with the regalia. We said an expression of diversity, an expression of unity is not a simplistic outlook of us wearing one color, and you call that unity and one voice. An expression of unity and one voice is us coming in our different colors, in our different views, to come and speak one message. And we were expecting and imagining a march where a woman who does not think she has political views and call herself apolitical, myself from the Young Women's Desk and my other comrades, a woman from the DA, a woman from the EFF, in our colors, holding hands, showing society that here we are, we've got different political views, but when it comes to the question of gender-based violence that cuts across all women, our experiences are the same. That is our imagination of unity. Now, their conceptualization of what they call unity was that we must all wear red and black. And that's what we differed with.
Is that not a small issue, though? Is that not a small issue, the fact that they're saying, hey, let's all just wear uniform and all just sort of look like we're, have one goal? Is that not, I mean, the issue of color, is it not really a tiny issue that?
The issue is not about color. The issue is about women being able to be themselves and to express themselves and to have the freedom to decide what they wear as and when they call an end to gender-based violence. As a woman from the ANC Women's League Young Women's Desk, I wear my black and ANC Duke every day. We did not start to fight patriarchy. We did not start to speak against gender-based violence today. We've been speaking against gender-based violence throughout. Now, I felt that it does not, make sense for me on the day of the march to detach myself from who I am. I felt that for a woman who's been wearing a church uniform, speaking against gender-based violence, it did not make sense for that woman to come to the march and detach herself from that uniform of the church. We lead constituencies. We are identified by certain constituencies. We are identified by certain views. It was very fundamental for me. It was very strategic for me to come in my ANC colors to say, as a woman of the ANC, I'm calling an end to gender-based violence. In our march, there will be women from churches. They are going to come in their church uniform. In our march, there will be women from NGOs. They are going to come in their regalia as NGOs. We are going to have women from the National Taxi Alliance Association. They are going to come in their regalia. We want an expression of diversity. We want an expression that shows our lived experiences every day, that we are different, but we are united to fight against gender-based violence. And that expression was not going to be in us wearing red and black.
All right, take us through today's march then, from Constitutional Hill to Luthuli House. What do you have planned? And when you arrive at Luthuli House, what next? What happens?
Okay, thank you very much. It's not just one march. We are having 9 provincial marches. Each and every province is going to march. We are going to march to strategic areas of power and influence to go and deliver our concerns. In Cape Town, they're going to march at Parliament at 12 o'clock. In Limpopo, they're going to march to the Provincial Commissioner of Police at 12 o'clock. In Northern Cape, they're going to march to Paris to deliver a memoranda at a court. In Free State, they're going to march. In Northern Cape, they're marching to Uppington. In Free State, they're marching to Paris to go to a police station and a court. In Mpumalanga, they're marching also to a court. Northwest, they're also going to march to the Department of Public Safety. In KZN, they're marching to Durban City Hall. In East London, they're marching also to East London City Hall. And here in Joburg, which is the main march, we are going to march from Constitutional Hill to Luthuli House. And we are going to march to the ANC National Executive Committee and to deliver the memorandum to the headquarters, where we are going to be saying, as women within their party, that we are not spared from patriarchy, we are not spared from women abuse, and we believe that our party can do so much more as the ruling party in answering and listening to the women of this country, in ensuring that they put in place laws, because we believe the ANC is governing and we believe the ANC has got power to change legislation. We'll be speaking, leading society. We are not on our own. We are going to be leading all these groupings that I mentioned that are going to form part of our march. We are going to lead them to our own headquarters, where we'll be saying, you are the party of power, you are the party of governance, you are the party that makes laws, you are the party of the people, and you are the leader of society. And we demand that you begin to lead on the question of gender-based violence in changing the status quo.